Hey guys, it's Neffy. Today we're going to deal with the question, where are your sources outside of the Bible that prove the Bible is true? Where is your extra biblical information that substantiates the claims that the Bible makes? How do you know that the Bible is historically accurate? Those questions. We're going to address those questions in this video, so you want to stay tuned, okay? So the first thing that we are going to discuss is this term known as negationism, historical negationism, which basically is the practice of distorting historical data to suit one's agenda, whatever that agenda might be. So it's an illegitimate distortion of the historical record. And this happens frequently throughout history. In fact, it's even happening today. So I'm going to give you a few examples of people in power distorting history so that it either glorifies their nation or basically hides something that they don't want out there. So, for example, there are people who deny that the Holocaust ever happened. There are Germans who say, the Jews either made this up or they're grossly exaggerating as to the things that happened to them. The numbers are distorted. That is negationism. Think of the term negative, right? To negate. They are negating the fact that this happened. And so in Germany, it's against the law. They have prosecuted people for saying that the Holocaust never happened because they're a nation who doesn't want to hide the sins of their past. And I think that negationism in that respect would not only be hiding it, but it's basically like a slap in the face and you're unrepentant if you're pretending this thing never happened, right? So another example, a little bit more ancient, would be ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt, also engaging in the practice of negationism. A lot of us have maybe or maybe not heard of the queen who was literally erased from history. They erased her. Currently, or rather more recently, in Egypt as well, we had a high court in Cairo, which is the capital of Egypt, rule that they would remove all images of the former President Mubarak and his wife from the public square, from streets, from the libraries even. They wanted to remove all trace of him. He was ousted under unpleasant conditions. They didn't really like him too much, so they wanted to erase the memory of him from their history. So again, we're discussing negationism, revising history, pretending things never happened, sweeping them under the rug. This is a common practice when it comes to military defeat. Now, while we talk about negationism, I'm gonna get to the point. So typically a nation, historically, anciently, they tend to over glorify their wins. And if they even mention the fact that they lost in a military battle, they will mention it in passing or try to minimize the loss as much as possible. So why are we talking about negationism if we're supposed to be answering the question of historical proof that the Bible is accurate? Because the Bible, unlike many of these other records, actually discusses in great detail the wins and the losses of the people of God, as recorded in the books. And so we do have evidence not only that they won when God was with them, but that when they rebelled, they lost. They were either subjected to some other nation, or, basically that's what happened. They were subjected to some other nation. God allowed some other nation to come and besiege them. And so it's recorded in the Bible. And then oddly enough, because Israel is the loser in these situations, the people who won would record in their own historical annals their wins against Israel. I'm going to give you a few examples of ancient kingdoms who are not Israel, who have no affinity for Israel, who in fact were enemies of Israel, recording their name, the name of the house of David or the name of the children of Israel in their own documents or in their own stelas, which are large stone reliefs, basically showing how they defeated, because they want to glorify their wins, right? How they defeated the children of Israel. So the first one we have is the Azekah inscription, Azekah, Azekah inscription, and it talks about an Assyrian king Sennacherib going against Hezekiah. The second one is a Nimrud tablet, Nimrud tablet, Nimrud. Actually, I'm not sure that one is a record of military gain, but it does still fall under this category of extra biblical sources because these people are not Israelites who are writing these, who are creating these artifacts for us. The third is the Moabite stone, also known as the Mesha Stela. It describes how in the Moabites' eyes, their god, Chemosh, allowed them to be subjected to Israel, and then later allowed them to overturn Israel. And this story, the latter portion of this story is found in 2 Kings chapter 3. So again, 2 Kings chapter 3 is telling us how the Moabites basically who were at one point under the rule of Israel turn around and wind up beating them up. So why are you including that in the Bible if it's not true? Why would I give you a story of me losing if it's not true? Okay, and then to correspond with that, we find that the winners, because I'm the loser in this situation, the winner in this situation also recorded the battle and showed that they won. So we have the Bible and we have an extra biblical source coming together and agreeing on the same fact from two opposing views, two opposing parties saying the same thing. Then we have the cylinder of Nebuchadnezzar. You know, in Daniel chapter 1, it talks about Nebuchadnezzar besieging Babylon. That's how Daniel and the rest of the Hebrews become subjected to Babylonian rule. We have the Cyrus cylinder, which confirms that Cyrus allowed the Jews who were captive in Babylon to return to Jerusalem. Then we have the Shalmaneser stela. Again, the stela is like a giant stone. Shalmaneser stela, which mentions the King Ahab. King Ahab, again, is found in the Bible. And again, these are extra biblical sources. These are non-Judean sources that are confirming either that these kings ruled or that they lost in these military battles. And then finally, the one that I posted today was the siege of Lachish reliefs. So if you're not familiar, I do archaeological posts every week, hashtag biblical archaeology. And so if you look for that hashtag on Facebook or Instagram, you will find these posts that I've been putting up. And so the one that I put up today was about the siege of Lachish by Sennacherib. And so Lachish is a Judean city which was conquered by the Assyrians, and they carved a monument, not a monument, but they call it a relief when it's in stone and they like etched it out. So it's basically from ceiling to floor, and it goes on for, I believe it's like 39 feet. It's really, really long, but it's detailing how the Assyrians conquered the Jews or conquered Judah. And so again, I just want to recap. We have extra biblical sources, meaning outside of the Bible, who confirm the stories, the accounts, the historical record maintained in the Bible. So people say the Bible is not a history book. Yes, it is. Again, I would like to highlight the fact that why would, for example, Nebuchadnezzar, who isn't an Israelite, make up the name of Israel and put it on his cylinder? Or why would Cyrus do the same thing? Why would the Shalmaneser stela mention King Ahab if he never existed? I mean, just think about, I'm over here minding my own business. Why am I going to make up the name of a king which so happens to coincide with the Bible? That wouldn't make any sense. So I'm here to encourage you. This video, again, all of my videos are primarily for Christians. I'm answering questions from naysayers because we would like for them to see the truth as it is in the word, correct? But my main point here and my main goal is to equip my own family. Y'all, my family. And God has put these things in place so that we can be able to say, just like the Hoteps or the conscious community likes to say, it's written in stone. It's written in stone. Not only is it written in stone, it's written in the word. And not only is it written in both the word and in stone, but the stone belonged to somebody else. The stone belonged to another party who is by chance, not by chance, by divine intervention, not by chance, but by chance, coinciding with what we're saying, supporting what the Bible is saying. So be encouraged. And if you like this video, please share. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, subscribe, add me as a friend, follow me, send me a message if you have any questions, like, comment, all of those good things. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I am coming out with an app that is going to be an urban apologetics app. It's already in the works. I'm working, churning day and night by the grace of God, trying to get it out. So once again, I am Nefertiti, and if you have any questions, please inbox me. But again, the hashtag biblical archaeology, I will be continuing to do that right now. I'm on week 18. I promised I would do 50 weeks, 50 pieces of evidence that confirm the Bible. All right, knowledge is power, all power to the people. Wait, guys, before you go, I almost forgot one of the most important stelas as it relates to the conscious community, or one that we often should keep in mind when dealing with naysayers in the conscious community. One of the most important victory records is that of Pharaoh Merneptah against Israel. He claims in what's known as the Merneptah Stela, he claims to have decimated Israel and left it such that there is none left to piss against the wall. Basically, he's saying he's defeated, decimated Israel. So here, not only is it written in stone, it's written in Egyptian stone. And so what you'll likely find in response to the Merneptah Stela is the argument, well, how do we know what the Stela says? But I really feel like that is revisionist tactics. Revisionism is like a form of negationism, where you're basically bringing up arguments that, aren't sound. You're arguing against what you know to be obviously true just for the sake of casting doubt. And so how is it that you trust what the hieroglyphs supposedly say when it relates to anything else? But because the stone mentions Israel, how you know what the stone really says? You can't decipher hieroglyphs, this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. But I just wanted to equip you with that, put that one in your arsenal, in your little toolbox. The Merneptah Stela is a stela that discusses Pharaoh or King Merneptah saying that he destroyed Israel. So if Israel was never in Egyptian captivity, or never came in contact with Egypt, or was invented recently, and all these other fallacious claims, these false claims that they make, if they were true, why is the name of Israel in the Egyptian record? And there's some other things that we can discuss as it relates to the intersection between Israel and Egypt as far as archaeology is concerned, but I'm going to say that for another video.